Hey guys, I still owe you a Bible study this week. It's coming. But I saw this yesterday. I was watching the Charlie Kirk show, which I do on a regular basis. And he had George Barna on, who has a research firm. And this is about evangelicals and voting. Self-proclaiming born-again Christians, 41 million, will not be voting this time in this election. According to a recent survey released on Monday, 10/7, much lower enthusiasm about this election from people of faith. Can you believe that? With everything on the line, leading to millions of devoted Christians not voting. Well, I'd say, how can you be a devoted Christian and not vote? Well, you're going to find out. So again, 41 million theologically defined born-again Christians who are not going to vote. And what is very concerning is these voters, by a wide margin, would have voted for Trump. Okay, so listen, I watched this video, and I tried to dictate as much as I could. So these are, what I'm saying to you is the words from George Barna, who's done this research stuff for years. So he knows what he's talking about. So, by their refusal to show up, Trump will be hard-pressed to win. He was able to do really well with evangelicals, Trump, in 2016, and even more in 2020. But he can't rely on them this time. It makes it impossible to believe, doesn't it? Makes your head want to explode. The reason, part of the reason, the churches that these people associate with, the survey looked at, what are the churches doing about the election? By and large, these churches do not want to engage in the election. 56% of Christian churches in this country haven't bothered to encourage their people to vote. I can't think of a more pivotal time in our history, in our lifetime, where it would be more important to vote than this time. If the pastor would engage with his congregation, they would be inclined to vote. Pastors say, if the pastor would say something like this, voting is the responsibility of a responsible Christian. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Do your homework and vote for the person who comes closest to your biblical principles. I'm telling you who to vote for. You got to vote for Trump. There's no other choice. What does the Bible say about the issues? That would bring out tens of millions of more Christian voters. Christians will make the difference by staying home or voting Trump. That's my word. He said by voting intelligently. I'm saying vote Trump. So, enthusiasm and turnout. It's based on these key indicators: interest in the election, intent to vote, and knowledge about the candidates. All those measures are down from prior years. 2020 had the highest interest. This time, down 5 to 10%. I can't get over that. Is that really true? 61% of voting age adults turned out in 2020. This time, 53 to 55% is what the estimate was going to be. Committed Christians, disciples of Christ, spiritually active, 10 to 25% point drop in enthusiasm about this election. The drop in enthusiasm is greater with Christians than all other groups. The drop in enthusiasm is greater with Christians than all other groups. What are the reasons Christians, many with families and children, will have to live with the consequences, will not vote? Listen to this. 2/3 not interested in politics or this election, but they will be. Majority say they dislike both candidates. Fine. Majority say neither candidate represents their most important personal views on issues in the election. Half say they don't believe their vote will make a difference. Half say the election will be too controversial and don't want to be involved. Christians less likely than any other group to talk to someone else that has a different view than them, won't even bring it up, won't even engage. That's not this house. And I know you're going to say, that's not me either. Well, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the 41 million out there. This isn't made up. I know maybe your church, your pastor talks about, that's great. And you're all going to go vote. You're all going to vote Trump, right? That's great. I'm not talking to you. I'm telling you, there's 41 million. They're saying they're not going to vote. They're going to change the election. So Christians are distancing themselves from being influential in this election. Another half say their vote won't matter because the election's rigged. Half say they can't get an accurate info about the candidates. Think of it. These are the attitudes of people who rarely attend church, not stay-at-home people. 32 million of these people say they will not vote, no matter what. They say the church isn't saying anything, meaning the pastors, about this election. Not encouraging me to vote, they're saying. They're not giving me info about what the Bible has to say about the issues. They being the pastors. So I can choose the right candidate. So Christians attending church are not being advised that it is their responsibility to vote. You shouldn't need a pastor for guidance on that, but it would be great. Lived experience tells you something is wrong, right? We are called to be agents of influence in our culture, whether you like it or not. God has called us to stand in this time and throughout history. Thank God our founding fathers wanted to be involved, or we would still be an oppression, which is where we're headed once more. I had a speaker at Liberty University once say, years ago, that even half of the self-proclaiming evangelicals in this country would get out and vote, we win every election, local, state, federal, for all time to come. And God would be on the throne once more. But we don't vote. We don't vote. I just can't get over that. It just blows my mind. So, Charlie Kirk asked George Barna, if nothing changes in the next month, would it be fair to say that Christians staying at home will hand the White House to Harrison Walz? And he said, absolutely. If the polling remains the same, the election will go to Harrison Walz. God forgive us. So those Christians, by not voting, are saying they're okay with more of the same. Open borders, woke agenda, jammed down our throats and our kids integrated. High prices, no constitution, no free speech, no guns, no freedom of worship, endless wars. So where does it end? I can't believe that. I still am hopeful that somehow we'll be able to overcome that. But just think what the election was lost by. And that was not even a fair election the last time. I can't believe that there's 41 million Christians in this country that won't vote. Half of them. If 20 million of them would vote, we would win. Maybe 10 million of them. Why can't Christians get out and vote? I don't get it. I just thought you needed to know that. So if you know anybody out there, you hear them talking, if you're a Christian and you hear your fellow Christians saying, I'm not going to vote, doesn't matter anyway, what's my vote going to count? It's a rigged election, my vote's not going to matter. Talk to them, get in their ear. Be respectful, come at them with love. Talk to them. We're running out of time, man. We're less than 4 weeks away. What's going to happen? If we lose, it's over. All they're talking about is getting rid of the First Amendment, that it's dangerous, mis and disinformation. Everything that comes out of your mouth, Christian, will be considered mis and disinformation. Don't let it be too late for this country. Okay? God bless you guys. I really wanted you to hear that. Check out Charlie Kirk's show. You'll find the George Barna thing for the Monday episode, 10/7, and you can listen to it yourself. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it last night. Anyway, have a blessed day, and go find somebody that's a Christian that's not going to vote, and tell them to vote. They got to vote. Thanks, guys, for listening. God bless, and have a good day.